Greetings, greetings. This is Coach Charlene, and welcome to Your Coach Charlene, a podcast where purpose meets wellness and whispers become movements. I am excited to be here today. And as you can see, I'm not in my usual place today. I am actually in Pennsylvania, and I'm also a faculty consultant of Watson Caring Science Institute. So I am out here on an assignment and consulting with some of my dear Caritas sisters that I met some time ago. But so what has Charlene been doing? I have been doing so much. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've been doing. I'm very excited. I had an opportunity to come speak for AORN, which are the OR nurses, and they actually had me come speak about When the Moment Chooses You, my book, and their professional development day. So that was really exciting because they really, it was actually amazing. I learned so much just being there, listening to the other presenters. And so I brought in the element of more so the quadruple aim, like taking care of yourself. And so I did walk them through a practice and just shared my heart with When the Moment Chooses You. So that was extremely fun. I met some amazing nurses there and people that have been in the industry and physicians actually that were there. That was just amazing. So I was a keynote there and it actually felt really good. I'm like totally loving that. And then I was keynote for my heart, Joelle, and she asked me if I would speak for the Southwest. I think I said that right. Anyway, I spoke there. That's online. I'm not sure if they have a recording of it or not, but we talked about the fault lines of life, those times where your life is shaking and it feels like the ground beneath you is shifting because there's so much going on. And so I've been doing a lot of speaking, which I absolutely love and adore. And so, we've been in the series of Burnout, and I want to wrap it up so that I can close off this series. And so let's get into it for a little bit. I've talked about burnout. We keep hearing about burnout. Like people are just like literally tired of hearing about burnout. However, I do think it's important to talk about. I think it's important to enlighten people about burnout because sometimes you don't really know you're burnt out. You just have symptoms. You have signs of burnout. And you're trying to figure out what that is. And so I think it's really great for you to find out, okay, what is it so that you can do something about it. So I've given you multiple tools, multiple toolkits, multiple aha moments for me when I walked through mine victoriously. And so I have given you a lot. If you have not had time to look at all of the videos, there's plenty of them there for you to look at, as well as where I interview guests that have dealt with burnout or that are leading in the space somehow. So I would like to now jump into the last sessions, actually the last couple sessions, and then I'm going to wrap it up and close this particular series out. Now we know that the data still shows that a humongous number of nurses are burning out. And quite honestly, you guys, life is not getting necessarily easier. The hospital systems are not necessarily getting easier. Things are getting actually a little bit more challenging. And so that's why you have to take care of you. And see, my role as the wellness whisperer is to make you hone in to taking care of you because that is your most valuable asset is you. If you're not there, then you can't impact your family. You can't impact those people that you actually have been called to. And so that's why you, as the provider, as the caregiver, as the nurse, you have to take responsibility of taking care of yourself first, not last, but first. And so very, very important. And I'm going to keep on pressing you with that. But I want you to know something. They may not have seen you breaking, but let them see you rising. Because you already have what it takes on the inside of you to thrive. So as a nurse, as a human being, you are never meant to simply survive your shift or survive the day or just get through the week. You were made to bring life. You were made to make an impact. You were made to Do those things that's in your heart to do. You are the light. I like to say it. We are the light in darkness, or we are the light in institutional darkness, like Dr. Jane Watson likes to say. By the end of this video, you'll walk away knowing your identity matters way more than your role. Your joy is not optional, it's very strategic, and you have the power within you to lead your own healing. Now, I truly believe that statement that I just made. I had to tap into some divine guidance so that I can get the healing that I need so that it can be completely gone. So that's kind of what we're going to dig into today. So I want to talk first about your identity. Your identity is more than your role. You see, you're not just a nurse or a physician or whatever your role is. Who cares? You're a whole being that actually deserves the care as well. I like to think of identity, not just your title, but actually who you are beyond your title, beyond your roles, or the one that was before the title came. Do you know who that person is? And so self-discovery is critical. It is one of the most important things that you can do as a nurse, as a physician, as a laborer, whatever your role is. Self-discovery can bring you so many places, and it gives you fulfillment in those dry places when you navigate through them. It can actually give you purpose and meaning in every area of your life, and that's simple self-discovery. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe one day, and he made a bold statement. He said 97% of people don't know who they are. And I was like, okay, come on, 97%. He said people know who they are according to their title. Like, I know I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a UA, you start naming off all of the different titles. That's who they think that they are. But we are so much more than our titles. When you find out who you are, that self-discovery piece, you become really unstoppable. You really do, because knowing who you are brings conviction. Like, I know one thing, like when I navigated through burnout and all of the challenges that I have shared with you in my videos, knowing who I was so important during those times, because that helped me to keep that strength going in the midst of what I was experiencing. I still didn't allow it to take away from who Charlene was. I started losing pieces of me, Lala. Let me not get it twisted. But because I already knew who I was, there were certain things that I wasn't going to accept as normal and adjust and accommodate my life in ways that I actually was never meant to accommodate. And so it's really important for you to know who you are. Who are you really? When you go home, when you strip off of the titles, who are you? And I'm kind of slowing down on that because I want you to really think about who you are. When you know who you are, you walk differently. You walk with confidence. You walk with purpose. You walk with intention. You see, there's a quote that says, I think, it was Mark Twain, and he said, the two most important days in your life is the day that you were born and the day that you know why you were born. This is so critical. Yeah, I know I was born on June 5th, but I had to discover why I was born. See, when I know who I am and why I'm here, that's when you actually become unstoppable, because then you walk in a level or a weight of your purpose, your intended reason for being. And so that's why it's so important for you to know who you are, not other people's expectations. I say, you know who you are. You have to know who you are. Nobody can tell you who you are, even though they're going to try to tell you. You cannot listen to anybody else. To thy own self be true. You know who you are. If you don't know who you are, then you're going to get tossed and turned and flipped and flopped through. I mean, with every win, with every conversation that somebody says, oh, I think you're this. And I think, no, you know who you are for yourself. Okay, that's identity. The second thing I wanted to talk about is thriving is a choice, not a reward. I have to say that again. Thriving is a choice, not a reward. Joy, purpose, alignment, these don't wait for permission. They actually are built one habit at a time, one day at a time. Once you get a vision of who you are and you discover the true essence of who you are, your vision keeps you focused. It will actually allow you not to touch things that's going to destroy you, that's going to cause you to be unfulfilled. You see, when you have vision of who you are, it's a narrow road. So, like for instance, for me, I know who I am and I know I have a vision for my life, and my vision has to do with well-being, purpose. So I'm going to stay in that lane. So when things go outside of that lane, I'm probably not going to be involved with it unless I have been called to do it for a period of time. Do you see what I'm talking about? Just like I can say that about my role that I had as a manager in perinatal services. I was able to do that role because I know who I am, because I'm an amazing leader. But let's see, I wanted to talk about that a little bit more about your, if it's not your ultimate role. Like say you're in a place right now where you're really not liking the role, but you know that it's where you should be for the moment. I think I like how Denzel Washington said, I heard him say that a long time ago, go ahead and do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do. You can find little spots of joy, little spots of happiness, little spots of this, little spots of that to help you to stay in your current role. But to thine own self, begin to start doing the work. Begin to start making sure you're cultivating your resilience. You're taking care of yourself in the midst of that, because, you know, in spaces like that, we do tend to drain our energy much faster. So take the time out that you need. If you're going to have to stay in that place for a period of time, stay in that place, but take care of you first. Okay, let's see. I also want to talk about your power. You already hold the power. See, your power comes from your presence, your peace, and your purpose. It's not just position. It's your presence. It's your peace. It's your purpose. See, those are superpowers right there. When you know that you have cultivated and did the work, you know who you are, you know why you're here, you walk differently. You know the original reason for you actually even existing. You know, as many of you already know, I am a woman of faith. And I remember when I was going through my journey of self-discovery, I asked God a question. I was like, why was Charlene created? Like, what motivated you to send me down here on the earth realm? What was it that I was supposed to impact? I start asking that kind of question, and I start getting so many beautiful answers where he would show me different things that I was doing that I didn't even know I was doing. And so I had to ask different questions just so I can get to know who I was, because I feel like this. He's the manufacturer and he sent the product to the earth. He sent me to the earth realm. There's a reason for my existence. There's a reason that you are here. There is someone in your life that you're supposed to touch. There's something you're supposed to create. There's something that you're supposed to do while you're down here on this earth realm. And I truly believe that with all of my heart, because power comes from peace. There is nothing like peace. Like, I do all types of things to make sure that I can sustain my peace in a world of complete chaos. You can still have peace in the middle of every storm that you're facing. It might not necessarily feel like it or look like it on the outside to other people, but you can walk in and have peace in the middle of your spirit while you got stuff going on all around you. special place to be in. But it takes daily practice. For me, my practices was prayer. My practices was learning who I was with the word. My practices was doing breath work. My practices was looking in the mirror at myself, saying that I am enough, saying that I can do this, saying that I forgive myself. I was all of those type of practices that help you. It's setting boundaries. It's not allowing people on the outside to make those unrealistic expectations, because we do that. Unfortunately, we are trying to please people so much that we shrink back and we don't be who we authentically are. So I'm not gonna say more about that, but I know you know what I mean. And of course, I gave you reflection tools, so many of them, while we were going through it. But you have the power. You have it on the inside of you. You may have allowed life, you may have allowed people to diminish your light, to diminish that power, but you have it on the inside of you to pull that back out and to begin again. And so here's the activation that I want you to do. I want you to live aligned. Choose what makes you come alive. You can choose to do that. Find out what that is, what makes you come alive. Just do some reflection and see, what are those things that bring you joy? Like, what do you do? I mean, what would you do even if you didn't need to get paid? Although we need to get paid. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get you to tap into, your purpose. Like, without even trying, inspire people. And I did not know that that's what I was doing. I just was doing it naturally. And so you have to pay attention to those things like that. Protect your inner world. You must do this. So surround yourself with love, with people that either pour into you or you pour into them. You do not have to be around people that suck the very life out of you. You have to protect your inner world. Your inner world is what's going to keep you standing when everything else around you is falling apart. And so that's why it's so important for you to do that. And the last thing that I would say that could be activating is to show up as the light, whether you're recognized or not. You keep doing you. Keep showing up as the light in the midst of darkness. Don't allow anybody to taint your brand. Don't allow anybody to make you act ugly. Don't allow anybody to make you step out of your character. You can build yourself up to that place where where those things will not affect you. So I want you to drop fire inside the chat. If you're going to regain your power, just step back into your power, dust yourself off, stand up, stand tall, and step back into your power. I want you to comment, I am the light and I am aligned, in the chat, in my comments, just so I can see if you're walking in yours. And if you're not, saying, hey, I need some help with that, you can put that in there too. And I want you to share this with someone that really needs this reminder today. Thank you for journeying through this series with me. You don't need another strategy or a breakthrough. You just need the truth, and you already carry it. So go out, take a deep breath, lead with your heart, and remember, you already have what it takes to thrive. So in the next video, in the last and final video, I'm going to be talking about the power within, conquering the inner critic, or activating the inner coach. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.